Hey guys, so I'm kicking off my Q&A series that I made a little short about the other day. I got a bunch of great questions, so I'm just going to start answering them. And today's question is from Stefan, and he says, "Hi Mark, been following you for years. My question is this: is it important or essential for a person's recovery from PMO, porn, and for living a fulfilling life to attend church, pray, and generally get closer to God through church? I'm asking as a Christian and hopefully as a future husband and father one day." And this is a great question. And it's also kind of a tricky one because I think a lot of guys in the process of quitting porn, they have a bit of a mixed experience when going through the church. Typically, I work with Christians mostly, but I've even seen similar things like in the Muslim world and even the Hindu faiths as well. And basically, the challenge is that they bring their recovery process to their religion, and then they don't really get necessarily helpful stuff back. And sometimes they just get shame and guilt and, threats of hell thrown on top of them. And obviously that doesn't really typically help most guys. It might inspire them to try and take it seriously, but it doesn't often lead to real results. And in some cases, I've heard of guys who've been connected to, men's recovery groups and stuff like that through their churches, almost getting worse because in some instances, it's just a way for everyone to get together and talk about how they're failing. Even like the leaders and stuff about like, oh yeah, we can't get clean. Oh, we're just going to pray about it and pray for forgiveness. And there's sort of an aversion there to it. So I understand why guys who have experienced that sort of thing have distanced themselves from faith in their process of quitting, because it just seems to make things harder, feel more heavy and whatnot. I do think it is important because it is important to be connected to your faith in the process of quitting porn. Because here's why, right? If you are a spiritual person, authentically, and that connection to God, is something that's key to your foundational beliefs and truths, then it's gotta be present, because quitting porn is a process of becoming more authentic. It's a process of becoming more real. It's a process of learning how to honor your deeper values rather than just your surface desire for gratification. When you're connecting to spirituality in a healthy way, you're connecting to that deep, true part of yourself. And what's important about that is that deep, true part of yourself includes the part that wants to quit porn. I don't think you can authentically pursue quitting porn without in some way engaging the part of you that is connected to God, connected to your faith. And so if you are engaging in regular spiritual practice, like going to church, praying, reading scripture, whatever it is for you, if you're doing that work properly, then every time you're doing that, you're also connecting and revitalizing and recharging and, bringing to the surface that part of you that wants to authentically quit porn and be your best self. And so if you try to split the two off, right, you try and just go and quit porn without also connecting to that deeper spiritual part, then there's going to be a disconnect there. There's going to be an internal schism where there's not an alignment within your core. This is one of these things that has to be reconciled, right? You have to be able to live within your moral structure of faith and laws. If you believe certain things are a sin, well, you have to reconcile your concept of sin with your sexuality, with lust, with porn, right? You can't keep that sin idea away because it's scary and shameful and then go and quit these behaviors and then think that you can step back into the spiritual, reality later and have things fit and feel right. Right? So you want to heal them together. But that kind of brings me to the point of you might need to practice your religion a little bit differently. I'm not asking you to, abandon your fundamental tenets of your faith or anything like that, but you might need to be a little bit deeper and more nuanced with your approach. Instead of just taking the rote surface level path of, I'm just going to perform these religious practices, I'm going to check the box, right? It's got to go deeper. It's got to go into how do I feel like I need to connect to God? How do I feel like am I really connecting to the love of God, or am I just engaging in rote practices? For some guys, it might mean shifting up what your spiritual practice looks like. Instead of just, reading scripture that doesn't speak to you and you don't maybe fully understand, maybe you supplement that or even replace it with a different kind of prayer. Maybe a more contemplative prayer. Maybe it's just like going to church and meditating. At least that's what we do in Catholicism. There's, adoration. You go and you do stuff like that. Maybe it's leaning on sacraments. I don't know. Like maybe it's walking in nature while praying the rosary or just thinking about God. Like, don't limit your spiritual practice, because if your spiritual practice is not helping you quit porn, then something's wrong. It should absolutely be helping you, right? And if it's not, then that speaks to this inner disconnect that I was kind of alluding to, that we want to avoid. They have to be hand in hand. Quitting porn and your spiritual beliefs, they got to be on the same page. And so you might need to get a little bit creative and honest with yourself about, how do I need to shift my approach to my religion so that it supports me getting clean? Maybe it's like stepping out of that fire and brimstone sort of judgment and leaning more into the mercy, compassion, the belief in God's grace and support of you. Okay, that's typically what I've seen. And when guys do this, when they marry their process of quitting porn and their spiritual beliefs, that's where I see the best results, hands down, because they're coming at it from like their full center. Yeah, man, I hope this is helpful to you. Like, you clearly are, on the right path with all this sort of thing. And I think that, you just bring them together. All right. And I think it's going to feel a lot better for you. So hopefully you guys found this useful. If you want to send me your questions, all you got to do is shoot me an email at podcast@frontlineman.com, and I'll be happy to answer it. And if you're looking for something that you can get started with to help you practice this kind of stuff, it even works on the spiritual thing, check out my Metascript Method guide, where I teach you a very simple 5-minute journaling technique that'll help you pre-program your brain to quit porn, overcome cravings, and you can even use it for, enhancing yourself spiritually as well. It's a very powerful tool, and you can learn it very quick. So click the link in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Booyah.